Hello, welcome. This is going to be a general tarot reading for some of our signs. We've already got Aquarius, Gemini, and Aries loading. And now next looks like Libra. I just randomly have these Starcode zodiac sign cards pulled out. So of course Libra, sign of balance and relationships, ruled by Venus. And something already slid off the deck here. Perhaps there's an overlooked opportunity. Have you recently had some dreams about something, or is there someone who sometimes creates some nostalgia for you from the past, something that was never quite engaged in or that you didn't give a chance, but someone's been on your mind or you've been on someone else's mind recently? Self-sabotage, self-fulfilling prophecy, negative mindset. So maybe you didn't so-called put your hat in the ring to allow somebody to get closer to you. Maybe you didn't have like some level of self-worth, or you may have had negative mindset about potential partners, thinking that all people are the same. But under that, I see secret admirer. It says, notice me, learning your vibe. But there's also some baggage with the need for more healing. And somebody may be timid and looking for a sign. So if you think that somebody is interested in looking your way, I would suggest that they are. Let's see. Ace of Shells is at the bottom of the deck. Happiness and abundance with the turtle. The turtle to me also reminds me of self-protective energies. It's got the hard shell. Those are slippery today. The hard shell, but the soft underbelly. So somebody's putting on a brave face, but is feeling vulnerable. We've got a lot of challenges coming out. I'd like to get a full shuffle in here, so I'm just going to take a look and put them back. King of Crystals, courage and commitment, has a tiger energy. Somebody with that, I would suggest it's a fiery energy, but it comes out with the crystals, which is pentacles, earthly. So a grounded but dynamic individual. 10 of Shells, blessings and well-being coming your way. I would say that represents your dreams, your nest egg, with this stork, pelican type water bird energy, with the water being shown up prominently. So I'd say that courage and commitment, you've had a commitment to self and developing courage through developing your own resources, your own sense of self-worth. And Four of Feathers, sanctuary and rest with that big bear energy. It feels very cozy and like someone has been through so much that they're just exhausted and they just have to lay down for a few moments. 9 of Crystals, security and abundance with that spider weaving its web. And I also see that figure 8, the infinity symbol here. And then 16, the Tower, release and revelation. And under the deck, the Ace of Shells. So perhaps there's been someone, even a friend perhaps, or even somebody you've been in relationship with, that maybe there's a reluctance to pass beyond the fear threshold and engage and give of the heart fully. It's like my resources, your resources, my place, your place. But courage and commitment. So do you have the courage to commit to something that looks like it wants to provide a lot of security and abundance in your life? So this is something with 10 of Shells, 9 of Crystals, King of Crystals, that there's a need to take a pause so that you can be more grounded and stable and not so much chaotic distracting energy, so you can get clear about what you're dreaming about, and maybe so that you don't wake up running and going and doing. Because if you can sit in that space between sleepful state and wakeful state, then you can think of your dreams more so. And for those that this isn't about relationship, the overlooked opportunity can be that maybe you have a lot of insights coming to you through your dreams. So I said I was going to put these back, but I think I'll leave them out there. Just any more out of here? I think we'll move to the next deck and see what's underneath here. The Emperor, number 4, focus and stability with that mountain lion cougar energy. So maybe it's an age difference here, masculine or feminine, where you've underestimated yourself in that way. So let's see, anything else here? The release and revelation is about the misgivings that you are not enough for this situation or for this position, or maybe you needed to come into a situation underestimating yourself, or playing humble or being humble. It doesn't have to be a game. Perhaps you've come into a situation with a lot of humble poise and grace and working on something very hard, but there's right here, there's awareness. I don't want to say that it's profound necessarily, but it's very stabilizing to your inner landscape at this time. Yeah, there's heartbreak and new love here, and behind we've got the 3 of Cups with a prayer and the back of the Knight of Wands. So someone, maybe you, okay, and all right. So see how these two are somewhat similar in their beingness, and then this is like the self-sabotage card. This is maybe either the suitor or the crush, and then this is the self in the position of wishing for that big love. And look at the cup here. It's a stone statue though too at the same time. So it's almost like maybe the need to not be so robotic or professional with the Emperor and that card coming up here. It's the ability to release and enjoy yourself and be more of who you are. Bring your humor and good nature and ease and comfortability into the situation. Feel comfortable in your own skin. So if you're being encouraged in this direction, I would say, okay, yep, there it is. You're feeling a little bit not sure of how to act, when to act, where to act, because of old heartbreaks that are still hurting. And so I just would like to get a couple of lighthearted notes from the universe for any advice. Okay, a few want to come out. What would love do? Guidance, attention, help, maybe. Love, always. Criticism, never. The question was what to give others, if anything at all. Isn't it fun being you, the universe? In all battles of heart over the mind, go with your heart. Because truly it's a lot easier for your mind to catch up with your heart than for your heart to catch up with your mind. A whole lot. Not that I don't love your mind. So maybe you're being way too critical and logical about a situation, solving the problem instead of engaging with the individual because of nerves, whatever. But trust yourself. Turn on your love light. Is it time to flirt with your crush? Sometimes the best way to remain sane is to love like crazy. Works for me, the universe. Yeah, because flirtation doesn't mean that you're asking them out. Flirtation doesn't mean you want to get married or that they're the love of your life. It's not like a commitment in that moment, you know. Playfulness is a way to connect and bond. Even amongst friends, you'll see people with that energy. They don't need a date, they're just having playful fun. You'll find what you seek. If you've ever suddenly found and been loved by somebody amazing, awesome, fun, and fantastic, chances are astronomical that you will again. And if you haven't yet found such a person, chances are astronomical that you will. It's up to you, the universe. So let's be quicker with your cards. You have what it takes. Before this odyssey ever began, there was you, your best friends, a wide-eyed curiosity among you about who would be the first to leap, the first to forget, the first to kiss, the first to tell, the first to fall, the first to get back up, and the first to remember that it all began with a dare to love in spite of it all. Is that you, Megatroid? The universe. P.S. I remember the glint in your eyes, all three of them. So it seems like you have an encounter with a soulmate where there's been potential brewing, but perhaps you or they or both individuals have been a little too fearful and a little too jaded from previous hurts and the fear of taking a risk to put it out there. But it looks like there's a spark. So there you have it. Good luck with your endeavors there, my dears. Let's move on. Who is next after my Libras? Virgo. All right, Virgo. Let's just get a little clearing right here. Also get the Hanged Man and the Knight of Cups. With the front side of the Queen of Pentacles, look at that hawk. The hawk continues to be, or is this, no, that is the Queen of Pentacles. The hawk is also in the Empress card. Let me start with this deck here. So, for my Virgos, you have a great earthly energy. This Queen of Pentacles is probably representing you, sitting back and assessing where you're at right now. Meditation brings solutions. And then we also have the card of Leo showing itself. So I don't know if this is somebody you're dealing with, another placement in your chart that's being activated, or simply your urge to become more open, more radiant, more in the spotlight in some way, to achieve and succeed and to be happy and playful. So all of these energies, you want to get fired up, and meditating seems like not a very fiery way to get into Leo energy, but as you set your life in order and your mental space in order, these Leo energies are showing us something. Anything else want to pop out here? There we go. Okay, we'll take all that. I see scared of commitment under the deck. Throat chakra, green light, momentum drives speed, crown chakra tension, building confidence, working on myself. Yeah, so yeah, the Leo confidence is your own. Wanting to take a step back to meditate upon your value, because there's something, a commitment calling you forward. It doesn't have to be in a relationship, can be a job, a new house, a new car, whatever you might need or want to bring into your life. It looks like you're aware of the effort that it will take to come out of your hermit's cave, and you're meditating on how to fit in and how to create more momentum in positive directions, and where the doorways are open, where those green lights are happening, and where things are not open. So one of the things that flipped out upright was toxic friend or family member. So somebody's negatively influencing you, and that's probably why you're having misgivings about how brightly you're allowed to shine or how much you can have in some type of situation. Root chakra here, number 1 chakra, and 6666 here. Sixes for me are a rebalancing, very good for synergizing and harmonizing. It's the Empress number of the 30 doubled. So it's creativity and rebalancing nostalgia energy, rebalancing past formative situations into harmonizing, creative harmony. 1111, twin flame. An evil eye returned to sender. It's so interesting. So perhaps you're on the twin flame dynamic, or somebody around you is, but there's a fear that the relationship perhaps is toxic, or friends and family members that have been toxic in your experience are influencing you that this person isn't in your best interest. So there's some type of disclarity, but it looks like with evil eye that you are able to, in your meditative space, to utilize and listen to the guidance of spirit to where it's your time to shine. And if you're getting twin flame and Leo, it's almost here, okay, so it may be that you are more introverted and your object of your interest with this twin flame dynamic is more extroverted, and they're really calling you forward, calling you to express all of these latent, repressed thoughts and feelings that, you know, everybody likes a little positive attention and you know, like, oh, you did a little bit extra on this project. I appreciate that. You know, it's like, yeah, thank you for noticing. And so that Leo energy is very innate to the ego, and we all need ego. So the Leo is drawing you out into the spotlight, and perhaps you are bringing that Leo energy back into the meditative space, more into grounding their energies. Under the deck, we have number 20, awakening, with that brilliant plumage coming from the peacock. And in this deck, it may even be an albino peacock type of thing. You know, those snowy white. There's a different type of a breed. But this deck has all muted color palette. But it looks like a purification process of your uniqueness, your specialness. It says renewal and enlightenment. Oh, my coffee's too hot. I heated it on the fire. So what else? Yeah, I felt that with the Tower card, or with the Judgment card there, the number 20. Here we have the Tower. The Tower and Judgment coming together with the twin flame, toxic and evil eye. The twin flame dynamic will bring up all of the toxicity that's latent in our own energy dynamics, and where we've overcompensated, absorbed negativity, operated out of our shadow. All of this accountability comes up, and it shakes our foundation, but it also does that for us to protect us from the toxicity at play in our lives. And the twin flame dynamic shakes up both individuals, all the chakras, releasing anything that doesn't belong, revealing those inner revealing the inner dimensions of self and rebalancing everything from that point. So you're probably quite overstimulated in this circumstance here. So yeah, maybe you're just witnessing that somebody could be that twin flame. There's a revelation here. An Emperor, focus and stability comes out for you as well. So this is getting back your foundation, focusing on the self and restabilizing yourself after having been shook to the core here. Okay, and let's switch decks for you. Let's see what the vice versa deck wants to bring out. So Queen of Pentacles, the world showing itself. There's some type of liberating release, like finishing a race, that a marathon, in fact, busting through the ribbon at the end, the finish line ribbon, some type of ribbon cutting, some type of commitment. And so maybe the twin flame itself isn't the revelation, but all of the liberated energy from that dynamic is putting you into a more challenging situation, whereby then you are having to stretch yourself in these new ways to kind of put your flag into something and claim something and say, yes, this is what I'm going towards. This is where my stability is calling me forward. Ace of Feathers, mental clarity and foundation. Yes, yes. The foundation, restabilizing a faulty foundation. And the Tower here is touching and on top of this toxic friend and family. So these old dynamics that have been at play are giving way to mental clarity and your ability to create a better foundation. And look at who's on the bottom here. It's the Emperor again. Gorgeous energy, and the Priestess. So that's your meditative influences. And then we have the back of the King of Swords. It's like whether somebody has turned their back, maybe an authoritarian parental figure or friend, somebody who thinks that they know what's best for us. And we also have Three of Cups. So this person is in a stormy phase of turning their back, and it's almost like, as I set these down, take a peek at how these look. It's like she's like, please come back, lower than this individual. He's set himself higher, supposedly taking the high road out or something. But then as she's down here and she thinks that that maybe there's this urge to chase or something, but it's like there's friends here, just kind of like muses, like the sirens, being like, oh, don't worry about that guy. You know, another guy will stop by and then you can have anybody else. You're too good for that. But it's like you still want this thing, that there's been this separation energy. Your cups are overflowing and spilling, and as the foundation shakes, there's a lot of emotional upheaval and anger, perhaps, and fear and confusion coming out, and everybody else seems to be like, oh, come over here, come play. And it's like, yeah, but there's this thing going on. So I can appreciate that so much for you. But it's as though there is something to be said about not becoming overly caught up in feeling like you've got to call this individual back, especially if this is a twin flame dynamic, because as this individual is encountering their own tower and their own catharsis process of shaking to the foundation and getting rid of what didn't work, this disapproving authority figure is evidence of their own toxic background that's shaking loose, and they can't do that under your scrutiny because they're trying to be who they're supposed to be and who they're becoming in their true self with you. They're trying to align to their goodness here, but you're triggering out the badness, and so they need to go away. And to resolve that, in all tests of character, when two viewpoints are pitted against each other in the final analysis, the thing that will strike you the most is not who is right or wrong, strong or weak, wise or foolish, but who went to the greater length in considering the other's perspective. Don't you agree? The universe. It's time for a love fest. So it's not about desperation, it's about appreciation often, and saying, I understand that you need time away, but I want you to know that I do miss you when you're gone. I appreciate the person that you're becoming, and I appreciate that we're all sometimes affected by lower vibrational energies. Don't tolerate the intolerable, of course, but forgive transgressions whenever you can. Look at that. Forgive. And then in all tests of characters, back on the back again, one more split. I heart you. Things are about to get really juicy for you, Virgo. So there you go. Take care of yourself, and don't get caught up too much in who did what, who said what, who's right and wrong. If it's worth it to you, don't let your friends and family members tell you to never forgive and to just burn their items. I mean, some things you can't take back. And it creates lasting damage that then creates more hurdles and obstacles to get over. Temperance card, the back of the Temperance card with it's not a dove, it's some kind of Egyptian bird that I can't remember the name of. And all I can think is Anubis, which is the dog. Hermanubis, for whatever reason, is coming out. But dove and lion are coming out too. It's tempering your ability to move beyond stagnation in a situation. It takes forgiving yourself and also accountability for self. We'll leave that there. It looks like Scorpio's next up on the board. Two of Feathers, decisions and direction. We'll see if that is part of your message here. I'm just pre-shuffling for you. Scorpio, investigate is what it says here. Sorry, I've got a call coming through. Oh, I know who that is. Scorpio, let's get into your energy. I'll take that one. So what are you investigating? Scorpio is always looking for the underbelly, the underneath, the undercurrents of a situation, looking for clues and knowledge. And sometimes because the Scorpion can be very quick to retaliate, we have to worry about that stinger. And sometimes your stinger can get you in trouble, but sometimes it can protect you. We've got 9999. So that must be the cycle that's ending, is an up-leveling in your vibration where you're no longer as fearful and defensive as before. I don't want to lose myself again in that anger and in that bitterness and resentment. Bitter, not better. Green light. That feels good. The green light feels like the heart chakra at the core of this Scorpion. It's like, yeah, I can sting whenever I want. So now I don't feel the need to be that way right now, because I know that if I had to, I could. So now I can be gentle because I can bring that out at any time. So you're getting the green light on something, moving ahead on something. And down here, decisions and directions. It's like green light is a traffic thing, directions, getting direction on your path. And it looks kind of lizard, chameleon. Two of Feathers is the Two of Swords at a crossroads, quite literally. So you're ending something, and maybe you're fearful that you're going to go around in a circle, in a karmic loop, spending and wasting your time doing something that keeps getting you triggered. Yeah, I feel triggered. Self-protection, old trauma. Mother issues. Whether your mother is in 3D or spirit, observation, looking for clues and keeping tabs. The investigation. I love the way that these cards come through. So there's an issue to do with your mother. Could be grief over loss. It could be she's possibly triggering you. Maybe she's the one that you fight and argue against. And maybe she was the one who was ultra defensive and nurtured these suspicious behaviors into your own life. But right now you're at the crossroads and you're growing out of that energy because it makes you super triggered by old traumas. And, you know, one of my early viewers, I appreciate it if he's still around, Stefan, had told me about the I Ching, and the human design. And when I investigated my own chart, there was this one aspect that said the element of not you or something like that, where there's an influence in your auric and in your soul blueprint operating almost at cross purposes. And so it's something that can gain momentum in your life that doesn't belong there and needs to be transmuted into something that you can utilize for your growth instead of this triggering pattern. So for me, it's frustration. So whether I'm on the pathway of success or whether I'm seeing other people doing things that may make them completely happy, but I can't help sometimes but, oh, that's such a broken pattern. If only the world were this way and that way. That frustration arises and it falsely validates that something's wrong and something needs to be fixed, and makes me feel the futility and the angsty bits from my upbringing where I wasn't able to create change, but that's no longer the circumstance. So there's some type of victimization or power or self-worth issue that the mother has triggered in you, but you're closing out that cycle and you're coming out the other side into the light. Okay, here's the Seven of Swords, which can sometimes be crafty, but you can also see that as somebody who's taking back what was stolen from them. And so in this card, this guy has grasped all the swords by the sharp end, and the guards are right there. It's almost like from an early age, these mother issues triggered you into your own cleverness and your own strategic navigation and defensiveness and the ability to, well, that's mine anyways, I'm going to steal that back. But perhaps you're stealing it back from somebody who did not take it. Sometimes hurt people hurt other people that weren't the ones that caused the wounds, but then we're going to go over there and attack them. So there's something working its way out here for you. So I need to close this down, my dears. So let's get some nice light energy for you. I saw pucker up, Buttercup. Don't be fooled by the so-called players, and don't be fooled by yourself. There's no one more lovable nor loved than you. And I know everyone. Precious. The universe. All there is to love has been there all along.